Welcome to one of the oldest stops on the NASCAR circuit, Darlington Raceway, for the running of one of two races on this NASCAR Inside Line season, the Pepsi 500. This track has been home to some of the greatest finishes and greatest moments in racing, whether it be Jeff Burton beating Jeff Gordon to the line to win the Mountain Dew Southern 500 in 1997, Terry Labonte getting his last career win in 2003, or Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch fighting neck and neck, just like how old school racing used to be in the spring event. This track has been home to some history. In fact, this race actually helped Mark Martin's career have kind of a renaissance. So, here's a lap around Darlington. This track is very slick, especially in the afternoon. Obviously, one of the big concerns is the Darlington stripe, where the car just jumps the cushions and kisses the wall. So you want to dive the car into turn one, let the car kind of roll, do your best to kind of have the car roll a little bit, and then duck it right to the bottom, then back to the outside wall, going down the backstretch. Then immediately get on the binders going into turn three, and then make the car roll through turn four, and then we're actually tracking faster. And got another pull out of all of this. So let's go ahead and get your fast 10 for this race in qualifying. So Dylan Murway and Tony Stewart will be on the front row. Casey Kane, Brad Keselowski will make up row 2. Carl Edwards and Dale Earnhardt Jr. will make up row 3. Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin will make up row 4. And Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick will round out your top 10. Yeah, Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick at Darlington. Those two have had history. Had a rather tight history in the past. Not really a pleasant one either. Pace car is off. Dylan Murway will bring the field down for 73 laps at Darlington. Let's go! Dylan Murway got a very nice jump on Tony Stewart going into turn one. Kind of kisses the wall a little bit. So already we have our first Darlington stripe of the afternoon. But Dylan Murway is going to lead lap number 1 in the Pepsi 500. The field already is filing towards single file. Casey Kane is falling to 4th. Brad Keselowski is taking the 3rd spot. Tony Stewart sits in 2nd. Obviously, one of the big concerns with how old this track is and the character it has is Dylan Murway kind of starting to... Whoa! Already just past the start-finish line. Brad Keselowski goes around, and the caution waves. Casey Kane's involved. Kevin Harvick just went to the inside. And more cars start crashing in turn 1. Wow, look at Dale Jr. basically all but stopped to avoid getting in this. Already some hard hits at the start of this race for a big accident as we're suddenly a lap down. Casey Kane got the lucky dog for some reason due to a scoring glitch, I believe. I don't know why that happened. So Tony Stewart will lead the field now into turn 3. Tony Stewart is your leader after a bunch of cars probably decide I had to pit before pit road was open. I'm guessing. So that's why so many cars that were a major part of that first incident are at the back, and so many big contenders too, like Logano, Keselowski, Ambrose, Gordon, Hamlin, Truex. And there's another one right there. Big hits. A lot of big hits. Denny Hamlin gets turned into the wall. He will collect. Mark Martin and Dylan Murray were the only other cars that were involved in this. So Matt Kenseth is the lucky dog for some reason. And a lot of cars from that accident get the wave around. After a rather interesting start, 2 cautions in the first 8 laps, this is a tough racetrack, so, and with the playoffs, with Darlington hosting the Southern 500 to open the playoffs, this could be interesting as to who moves on to the round, the challenger, the contender round after Talladega. So already the field's jumbled up because several cars that were part of that first accident had to pit. For some reason, guys like Stenhouse and Truex are in the mix with guys like with Travis Kloppel and David Reagan, as Dylan Murray is just using pretty much any inch of racetrack that's available right now, trying to get around these lap cars, as Kurt Busch is settled into being the early leader so far in the Pepsi 500. Oh, got some stack up ahead. David Reagan and Austin Dillon get together. So Murray trying to get under Casey Kane. He was one of the cars in the first accident. He's got some damage, not a lot, but some. As he's Dylan Murray getting by a bunch of cars, lap traffic as well. Only reason the lineup looks the run order looks so skewed were those 2 cautions and a bunch of cars getting penalized for pitting before pit road was open. So we're already off to an interesting start here in the Pepsi 500. Kurt Busch is your leader in this race. There's Dylan Murray trying to ride around at the top side, get by the 21 Trevor Bayne. Can't quite get to him there. Three wide on the inside. Ooh, Dylan Murray is the only person that has tried to make it 3 wide, but 3 wide usually doesn't work here at Darlington. As he's in a big mess with Tony Stewart and Trevor Bayne in the middle of the track. Somehow they're pulling this off. Dylan's stuck in the middle with Lieutenant Danica. Several slower cars that aren't going, and everything seems to sort itself out. So yeah, already carrying the Darlington stripe counter up to at least 20 because of the two accidents and cars hitting the wall. So far, instead of a Darlington stripe, it's more like a Darlington pepper spray from Harvey Weinstein. Or a slap from Joe Biden sniffing your kid. As Dylan Murray and Paul Menard are racing for 7th on the track. So far, after those two crashes, things are starting to settle down. Got a couple cars coming down towards pit road to begin the first round of green flag stops. And this probably means with the way green flag stops are going, Kurt Busch will probably either pit this time or try to stay out as Dylan Murray tries to get another position before he dives off into pit road. Dylan Murray shoots, misses pit road. Trying to look for a caution. He needs a caution. That's the second time in 3 weeks this happened. Dylan Murray overshot pit road. Darlington is one of the toughest pit roads in NASCAR to get on. And he gets his wish. Third caution is out for Landon Castle, getting spun into the inside wall on the backstretch. Yeah, somehow with the two yellows that happened in the first 10 laps, Dylan Murray's car still doesn't look that bad. So as the mass exodus of cars leaves pit road, David Reagan nobody will get the lucky dog this time. But obviously due to the way scoring's been. So Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch are starting last, second to last and last. Jimmy Johnson's going to restart 36th. Jeff Gordon's going to restart 30th. A lot of really big names running towards the back of this field. Anyways, Travis Quapple cycles out front with the lead. Whoa, bit of a stack up here. And another caution. Got another crash back there. Off of turn 4. It looks like Carl Edwards, Michael McDowell, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will go around. Everybody scrambles to avoid. So, another caution. This is already turning into a bit of a smash-em-up race. A lot of banged-up race cars in the first half of today's event. As Kurt Busch goes back up front. He almost won a race in 2003. As Jeff Gordon goes way to the inside, he saves it for a tight squeeze off of 2. Jeff Gordon gets knocked all the way to the inside and all the way to the back of the pack. So Kurt Busch, obviously, I was talking about this during qualifying. Kurt Busch was in the middle of a pretty famous finish, which is one of the closest, if not the closest, NASCAR finish of all time against Ricky Craven, where both of those cars basically took shots and battled with each other as another caution comes out. This time it is Danica Patrick and Brad Keselowski slamming into the inside and almost into traffic.
The safety crews are clear of the track.
So that was almost a big crash there. So Kurt Busch and Clint Boyer, they're on different pit strategies. They're currently surviving out front. Clint Boyer has the lead edge on the outside. Can Kurt get it off 2? Nope. This time new leader at Darlington, it is Clint Boyer. Into 15. Delmore trying to go under Labonte for 4th. So far, our top 4 is Clint Boyer, Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, and Dylan Murway fighting for the lead here in the Pepsi 500. Hopefully, things are finally settled down. In this race, 73 laps. We're on deck today. So far, we've had 4 caution flags in the first quarter or so of this race. As Dylan Murway goes right back out front to the lead here at Darlington. Tony Stewart, maybe can he try to follow on the inside? Over the contact off the corner. Tony Stewart and Dylan Murway trying to go for the lead here. Might be heading to another round of green flag stops very shortly. As it looks like Dylan Murway might fade back a little bit because, let's face it, the way Darlington is, this racetrack, especially at the Southern 500, being a bit longer than your typical spring 400-mile race. Typically with the Southern 500, some drivers might like to fade back a little bit, save their stuff for late in the race in case the guys out front start having issues. Because it's one of your endurance races. I mean, we got the Coke 600 here next Saturday. That's 80 laps. And our 2 short track events, Bristol and Martinsville, are 100 laps apiece. So lot of it could really come down to how much do you want to save, and is it really worth it running up front with the leaders only to junk your car or use up your equipment for the late dash to the finish? Which I think Dylan Murray and Clint Boyer kind of have that plan. Let's listen to Brian Patty, the crew chief. Yo, Clint, this track's going to change quite a bit, especially since we're going to be racing into the heat of the afternoon. So try to really save your stuff for the end of the race when people start fucking each other up and breaking out a ton of cautions like we have right now. I know the situation was kind of different with all the yellows we had, but try to save your shit. All right? Teflon. And this was, and while Dylan Murray is going, now look here. You see, Clint Boyer is kind of being smarter, kind of just running his line, running his race, letting the 25 try to get close to him, but not really racing him too hard. You see, they're racing each other neck and neck. They're saving fuel. I think Dylan was able to charge in deeper than Clint onto the corner, which means Clint's allowed to save his stuff quicker. That way, if these two are at the end of the race and Dylan were to slide up and hit the wall, Clint Boyer can just slide right in and take the win. While these two are fighting each other, Tony Stewart has checked out to almost 3/4 of a second lead as he heads to green flag stops. This looks like Dylan Murray may be heading into pit road right now.
So we might as well put tires on it. We're ready when you are, pal. Okay, boys. Safe and smart. Here we go.
Kind of getting into the middle of a green flag run, so you're really going to start to see which team's tires and stuff are going away. I mean, look at the damage on the 25.
Just like we practiced.
Technically, with the issues he's had, he should not be even running right now. As looks like a bit of a stack up ahead. Lead, Kevin Harvick so Harvick cycles out as the leader. As looks like he's peeling off pit road now. Well, he was out front. There was kind of a big accordion with lap traffic blending in. We already had an issue at Phoenix about it. And there's smoke up ahead and a wreck in front of him. One car just slammed into the wall. Couldn't tell who that is. Several cars around. You got Josh Wise is one of them. The other car involved, I believe, is Carl Edwards. And there's more cars crashing towards turn 3. You got Robbie Gordon, Joe Nemechek in trouble going at it. You got Travis Kvapil into the wall in turn 3. That is the 6th caution flag. So Landon Castle spun towards 23. So Castle spun towards turn 3. On that deal. And there are a bunch of cars spinning all over the place behind. Dylan Murway will bring the field back down for the restart.
Doing great. Nice and steady. Second place is way back.
Dylan Murway, Kurt Busch, and Tony Stewart are the top 3 fighting for the lead so far at Darlington. Just cut off the restart. As things hopefully are going to possibly settle down. Keyword is hopefully. I mean, look at how used up both of that 25 car is. Kurt Busch almost spins the leader out off of 2. As Tony Stewart's able to take advantage of Kurt being slowed up and take the lead off going into 3. Save your stuff, man. Get back. Go get to him. Tell Kurt I hope I catch that car. I hope I junk that car. Yeah, that was pretty low what he did right there. Just knocking out. Like, that was a good save there. Tell Kurt he better not see a red car in his mirror. Because I'm going to junk that ass. Dylan doesn't seem too happy. Meanwhile, up front, out of all this, Tony Stewart shuffles his way around to the front. David Gillen's all the way back and forth off 2, so it's really just 3 cars and a funeral. And every lap that Dylan's been turning, he's been driving mad, dude. He's saved, I don't know how much time compared to a guy like David Gillen, who's literally 9 seconds back. David Gillen's in 4th. He's just coming out of turn 2 as we speak. Going towards turn 3. Dylan Murway is heading towards turn number 1. Look at that. He's closing in on Kurt Busch lap by lap, it seems like. As hopefully, unless anything major happens, they can just let him race to the finish. Meanwhile, while things continue, Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, and Dylan Murway are the 3 fastest cars on the track as we speak. And Kurt Busch has not won since Dover of 2011. He'd love to break a winless streak. Tony Stewart, the 2011 champ, has not won at Darlington in his career. Almost won 2002, but a scary crash happened late in the spring event, ultimately giving the win to Sterling Marlin. 25 laps to go in this race. Tony Stewart already sees lap traffic. And Dylan Murway is all over that 51. And has to let off because his rights are gone, dude.
Concerned about your fuel. Run a little low. The tires ain't looking good, man. Better get in here a bit soon.
I think there might be some pit stops right here as cars begin to check out.
Low car ahead.
As Dylan Murway will take the lead right back.
We want to hit this lap. We need our car to be right. 10-4.
Hopefully, he doesn't have the issue where he missed pit road, which, believe it or not, is fairly easy to do at this track.
Tires are gone, man. We need to get here and get some fuel. Watch your fuel. You ready to dive in here, buddy?
So typically, drivers would start to slow down at like right about here.
Clean air. Keep digging. If you want to go with 4 tires, might as well fill her up with gas.
So Ford fuel for the 25 bunches. They've had quite the interesting race so far up to this point. Ow. David Gillen cycles his way out front.
Okay, boys, here we go. Nice job, boys. Great pit
As David Gillen, as caution comes out again. Tony Stewart into the wall this time. One of the leaders has just crashed.
Racetrack's clear.
This just got interesting. So, with people in the middle of a pit cycle, Dylan Murway is going to be out front for this next restart. As this was in the middle of a pit cycle, Tony Stewart ends up crashing, one of the fastest cars today. Things just got interesting, folks. Jamie McMurray could break a winless streak and get his first win at Darlington. David Gillen could get his first Cup win, period. Remember, you have to be in the top 30 in points to win to get into the chase. Could see that here. See a new change here. McMurray to second. He could take the lead here, but Joey Logano is also looking in the back as well. Contact between McMurray and Dillon. McMurray and Murway. Neck and neck for the lead. They're still going at it. This is awesome. Here comes Logano up here. There's a little bit of contact there. So now we got a new group of cars out front. Jamie McMurray, Joey Logano, Dylan Murway, your top three. Austin Dillon sits in fourth. Dylan Murray trying to get on the outside of Logano for second. Dylan Murray charging the corner. And Logano gets loose. He's going to the inside. Hits the wall. No caution. And the caution comes out the 8th one of the afternoon. I believe it might be for Logano. Maybe? Oh, wow. Big pile up in turn 1. So now this just got even more interesting. We could have a first-time winner by the time this race is done. Question is, are we done with crashing? Austin Dillon getting the edge in turn 1. Dylan Murray using him up. Neck and neck off 2. Could this... Dillon gets the spot. There's David Dillon sitting in 3rd. Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick behind. Dillon charges into 3. Austin Dillon still on the bottom. Quapple looking to the inside as well. Dillon charges in, tries to take off the lane from Austin Dillon. They're still going at it, neck and neck for the lead. Twice, 3 times going at it for the position. Dylan Murray, Austin Dillon. There's some contact there. He is using him up. With the way this race has been, we could see if the caution were to come out like right now, everybody could come down pit road. Dylan Murray and Austin Dillon are still going at it. Austin pins Dillon to the apron almost. Both cars are into the wall. Dillon is sideways. And there's a crash. Dylan Murray slides. David Gillen shoots into the wall to avoid. So the possibility of another major winner, new winner here, continues to grow. 10 to go. Regan Smith did not get a good start on the outside. Matt Kenseth still trying to maybe make a move. Johnson charges the outside off 2. He may take 2nd. Side by side, Regan Smith was able to get the power down. 2 Colorado teams going for the win. Barney Visser, based out of Denver, Colorado for Denver Mattress. Murway Racing, based out of Greeley, Colorado. And they are neck and neck for the win in the Pepsi 500. Johnson waiting in 3rd. And the caution comes out again. David Reagan this time spins it around. Possible if missed pit road, monitor the caution. If you've had that issue happen before. Dylan Murray the outside lane does not get a good jump at all in this. Apparently, Regan Smith, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 1-2 for the win here at Darlington. There'll be some cars heading to pit lane here. There got a crash. Another spin. Regan Smith spins off of the bumper of Dale Jr. One car shot was going to the wall in the back. Bobby Labonte clips him.
The safety crews are clear of the track. warning, you need some gas. I think we can use a little more tape, too. Okay, let's do this. Yeah.
Week 1? Oh, heck yeah.
Let's go to work, boys. Here we go.
So while that went on, Tony Stewart and Kevin Harvick are on the front row for this restart, which could be the first of multiple, of probably 3 more cautions.
Let's go get these boys.
You know the outside's going to really check up,
Eyes on the prize. Let's do this now.
and they do just that.
We're outside you.
Tony Stewart leads, Kevin Harvick is in second. Dylan Murray trying to make up as much ground as he lost and from pitting late.
All right behind you.
Contact with Almirola, 3 wide off the corner.
Outside. More to go. They're up high.
4 laps to go. 1 car has made its way to pit road. We are still green. And there goes Jeff Burton into the wall and upside. Oh, he rolled the car over. Burton to the inside. Do they waive the caution? The caution did not come out for Jeff Burton's crash. 3 laps left. Dylan Murray charging that corner. You know he wants a shot at the lead. You know, a win at Darlington.
All clear, bud. Close side.
2 to go for Tony Stewart.
Left side.
Dylan Murray gets back into the top 10.
The leader 6 seconds ahead.
The leader blends in just fine. Tony Stewart is just a few moments away from seeing the white flag as Scott Speed goes around off of turn 4. We're going to overtime at Darlington. 12th yellow flag of the day.
Racetrack's clear.
Overtime here at Darlington. We had 3 attempts. If the leader makes it around, after the attempt and the wreck happens, we race back regardless. If there's a wreck before the yellow until the 3rd attempt, we'll rack them up and do it again. Judging by how physical this race has been, we might need multiple attempts. Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin will lead the field. Question is, can Hamlin get up to speed? Dylan Murray and Denny Hamlin have the most wins this year. With 2, we could see Kevin Harvick possibly join that list as well. Dylan charges the corner and takes a spot. 2 to go. Will Mark Martin make a move? his last win was 2009 at Loudon. He would like to change that stat. Dylan Murray making that bottom line work. Up to the inside for second. Harvick holding the lead. Oh, Martin and Dillon into the wall. Kevin Harvick will take the white flag in the Pepsi 500. One more time around. Dylan Murray is going to have to send it here going into 3 if he can get to him, which I don't think he will. He's giving it one last college try. Can't make it. Doesn't make it stick. Kevin Harvick will win the Pepsi 500 at Darlington. Dylan gave it everything he could charging in after a bizarre start to this race. Kevin Harvick holds on and wins today at Darlington. There you see the top 10. Nice run for Lennon Castle, David Stremme, Jimmy Johnson, and Jeff Gordon with a good rebound. Joe Nemechek with a good run. Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, they look to be pretty dominant, but unfortunately, Tony Stewart's late crash and Kurt Busch pitting late cycled those drivers to finishing outside the top 10. Carl Edwards, rough go, finishing 26th. More rough goes for guys like Dale Jr., Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane, Kyle Busch, still looking for a win, finishing 42nd, and an even worse go for Brad Keselowski, finishing last. So Kevin Harvick joins Dylan Murray and Denny Hamlin with multiple wins on the season. Harvick won Martinsville after using all 3 green white checkered attempts. And Harvick won today with using 1 green white checkered attempt. See you Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 7 o'clock Eastern for the running of the Coca-Cola 600.